At 16, what I believed to be an angel came down to me and gave me the Bible. I was walking home from school in the street, and suddenly a man appears right in front of me. Like I hadn't even seen him, he was like magically in front of me. He has a big smile on his face and he tells me, Jesus loves you. And I'm like, oh okay, yeah, okay. I have a present for you, he tells me. And I'm a bit like, is this Jehovah's Witnesses? I don't fucking know, right? And then he reaches down into his bag, he pulls out a little book. I'm like, okay, and he says, yeah, this is a present for you. I'm like, are you sure it's free? Like, because I'm thinking like, oh my god, this is Jehovah's Witnesses, I'm gonna take the book, and then he's gonna be like, oh yeah, you gotta pay. But yeah, I'm like, are you sure? And he's like, oh yeah, it's free. So I take the book, I open it up, and I see that it's a New Testament, you know, the Christian New Testament. And then in there's also a letter, and it's literally from Jesus, bro, the letter. And I look at that, this guy, I was like, thank you. And he says, oh yeah, no worries, have a good one. And then I walk on, and literally like 5 steps later, I look back and he's just gone. Bro, he's just gone. It's like literally, like he sent down a man. See, like this guy needs to be enlightened. And I'm walking home, and the moment I got home that day, I instantly started reading. I instantly started reading page after page after page, and I'm like, shit, bro, they came down here to give me the New Testament, and instantly I'm hooked. And it didn't take long for my perspective on self-improvement, which I had been practicing for 1.5 years at this point. It didn't take long for that to be changed, because now I had literally what I call the ancient self-improvement on my hands. And I realized, shit bro, this is where it all came from. And I realized some things that I'd never even thought about. So in this video I want to share my own realizations after reading the Bible, and also how I implemented into my own life to become even better on self-improvement. So first of all, I want you to know my old view of self-improvement, because you can probably relate to this. So I started self-improvement with like no deeper why. And that was why it was a bit hard, because I had no like real reason for why I was doing this. I hadn't sat down and thought, why do I want to improve my life? And so it was hard, you know, it's hard doing the hard tasks when you have like no real reason to do it. And I also didn't really understand like, why is it that I need to do delayed gratification activities and I can't just scroll? Because it's like, scrolling feels better now and it's hard to do this other thing. I was a bit confused for these like first 1 year, because I was just following what the influencer said, not really knowing why. And so I didn't really understand the entire concept of self-improvement. And lastly, probably the biggest thing was that I kept thinking that self-improvement was like a finite game. So I don't know if you've read the book, The Infinite Game, I think it's actually right here, yeah. The Infinite Game by Simon Sinek. And basically what it talks about is that life is kind of like, or every endeavor is kind of like an infinite game. It's like there's no end to it. Like I thought I could just go on self-improvement, improve myself for like 5-10 years, and then just chill afterward, be like, oh yeah, I've improved now. But this is a long-term thing. This is like forever. For the rest of your life, you're going to try to self-improve. And these were kind of like the belief that held me back. It made me so that I didn't really make a lot of progress. But now, let me tell you exactly what I learned after reading the Bible and getting completely enlightened by this man who came up to me. This is when I realized that delayed gratification comes from the Bible. It comes from literally ancient philosophies, because think about it. You know, entering heaven, the idea of not sinning your entire life just to enter heaven. What is that? That is literally delayed gratification. You don't do all the bad habits now. You don't sin, you don't lust over girls, you don't drink yourself completely drunk, you don't do all these things, right? You're not greedy over money. You put away all these desires, all these bad habits now to get into heaven later. That's the entire point, right? So that is literally the same as self-improvement, where now we don't scroll today, we don't eat the junk food today, we don't game today, so that we can feel better tomorrow and look better when we look in the mirror. Like, religion is literally just the bigger thing of that. And that's when I knew this was something for me, bro. When I realised that literally self-improvement comes from Christianity, it comes from the Bible, because the idea is to get into heaven when you die, right? So it's like the ultimate delayed gratification. And it showed me that this is like an infinite game. It never stops. You just have to keep going. You have to keep improving. It's not like, oh yeah, let me be sinless for 10 years and then just sin for the rest of my life. And oh yeah, it's good. It was just a completely new perspective for me. And I realised that these sins like sloth and lust and greediness, they just represent what we have in the modern world, you know, bad habits. And I also realized that now I had a bigger purpose. It was like now I wasn't just doing this for, because some influencer told me. It suddenly gave me a bigger purpose, actually like probably the biggest purpose that a human can have in their life. And if you want to start self-improvement the right way, I'm working on something right now that will really, really help you if you're in the same position I was. It's like a day-to-day program. I can't explain too much right now, but if you want more info, then you can go down and join my free Discord Brotherhood. I'll be explaining more about it there, and we chat about self-improvement there. So, how did I implement all the things that I just told you? So first of all, with the bigger purpose thing, the way that I implemented this was before I was just, doing the things, and it felt kind of hard because every time I think, why am I doing it? There was no real reason. But now, suddenly I had a bigger reason, and suddenly it became easier because I knew that I was doing this for something bigger. I wasn't just doing this for my own personal gain, I was doing it for God, I was doing it for my future self. And it was kind of like suddenly a no-brainer to do these good habits. Because it's like, yeah, why wouldn't I improve my life later on? It doesn't matter what I feel now if my life tomorrow is better. It also made me understand why delayed gratification is important. And when you understand how important delayed gratification is, by understanding that, the lust and the sloth and all these things, they're like the bad habits, they're the desires, they're the sins. When you realise how important delayed gratification is, it also becomes easier to do, because when you don't really understand it, when you're like, oh yeah, what is this? It's harder to do, bro. But when you completely understand, oh yeah, this is because it's going to improve my life, it becomes so much easier as well. It also led me to actually fixing the root of my problems instead of just focusing on the bad habits. So when you think about, scrolling all day long, and you're thinking, oh yeah, I'm just lazy. But then you're thinking, why am I scrolling? Is it because I'm lonely? Is it because I'm maybe depressed and I want some stimulation? I started to think deeper about these things. Of why is it that I'm lusting over this girl? Why is it that I'm watching this devious content, right? I started to realise that it wasn't just a bad habit that we needed to focus on. NoFap is not going to fix your porn problem, right? It's something deeper. It has to do pretty much always something to do with your mental health. And it was only when I realised this that I was actually able to make progress and stop all these bad habits. Probably one of the biggest examples of this in my life was that instead of gaming and scrolling, I realised that it was just my mental health. I wanted progress. I wanted to, get stimulation and feel like I was being with some people. So I made new friends and I started to make progress in self-improvement, and I got my 2 desires filled, and then I didn't need to scroll. And when you start to think about it this way, it's very simple on how you actually made progress. I hope you found my realizations helpful, or at least found the video a bit exciting with my story. And yeah, that was pretty much it. Again, if you want more info on my thing that I'm dropping in October, then you can click the first link in the description. Alright, that's it. Put one foot in front of the other.